If you run a company or manage a team, hiring qualified people quickly can make or break your business. Imagine a position of need going unfilled for weeks or even months because you just can't seem to find the right candidate. When it comes to hiring, Indeed is all you need. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. Indeed sponsored jobs help you stand out and hire fast. With sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates so you can reach the people you want faster. This makes a huge difference. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Plus, there's no monthly subscriptions, no long-term contracts. You only pay for results on your job post. Just in the last minute that I've been talking to you, 23 hires were made on Indeed, according to Indeed data worldwide. Now that is fast. There's no need to wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. Listeners will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/BWN. Go to Indeed.com/BWN right now to support this podcast. Indeed.com/BWN. Terms and conditions apply.
We pushed the button.
We did push the button. So
Button's on.
The button is on. The red
And
light.
Jordan's not here to shut it off.
That's
No,
true.
He's not. He's not here.
No one here to accidentally push the button again. That's good.
Well, I mean, Beth may come in and push the button.
Beth can't push the button.
Oh, she doesn't have that power. She doesn't have button pushing.
I don't have the power to push the button either. That's why I asked you to do it. No button pushing here.
None. We just push the button of all of our listeners. Talk about made right sandwiches.
But the corn correspondent isn't even here for that particular button.
I know, it's great. It was a lot of fun to just like listen to that stuff again, which I'd love a road trip. I just hadn't had a chance to get like a really good road trip in a while. I know somebody who had a road trip.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
How do I sound?
That had a road
Do I
trip.
sound like okay?
You sound good.
Okay.
Fine.
No, so
I like your hat.
I was trying to set up the stuff that I bought over the weekend, and at a certain point, I was like, you know what? We got to record. We got to roll this change back. And so that's what I've been doing for the past like 10 minutes is like, nope, we got to try to reconnect all the old stuff. Because this new stuff is kind of beyond. I don't think it's beyond my area of expertise in terms of like using it, but it is beyond my area of expertise in that like I might have to Google some things to get everything set up properly. So that's not something I'm gonna be able to do like as we're getting ready to record. I will need to dedicate actual time to that at some point. So that will be next by Sunday. I hopefully will have this figured out.
You guys out here all fancy with your fancy setups, and I have the Yeti Blue, the reliable podcast mic, plugged directly into my laptop, which is balanced on the arm of my couch.
Yeah, I have the Yeti Blue, but it's on an arm in my foldable desk in my closet. So, yeah.
Yeah, I've reconnected the Yeti Blue. We're back to Yeti Blue.
I want to get a soundboard, damn it.
I mean,
you and Jordan.
Do we need everyone to have one of those? I think that's a little much.
I will take this moment to remind everyone that if you listen back long enough in our catalog, I am supposed to be the keeper of the soundboard.
Okay, we need to send you one. Everybody gets soundboards. Just one episode is just nothing but us pressing sounds on the soundboard.
I used to do that on Twitter Spaces.
Once I get this new setup actually set up for me, I'm not adding a soundboard yet, but I should be able to add one down that like it'll make that process easier. So once I figure out how to do it for me, I can definitely do it for other people. I don't think that we really need to have like duels going, but
we don't need it.
Especially not if Jordan is one of the people that has them.
It's a necessity.
Well, okay, but
we all must have that.
The thing with Jordan using the soundboard is that he does forget that he has the soundboard sometimes.
This is true.
There's times where I'm like, I feel like we could use the sound here, and we don't get it. But I don't know.
But we always get Texas Fight.
Yes.
We always get Texas
And the
fun.
cow mooing.
We
Sometimes
do,
you just get
yes.
a cow mooing.
Hopefully
Welcome,
it's just the cow
everybody, to the
mooing.
Sick Ghost Committee podcast. Sorry, Adam. I do not have the timing down on this as well as Jordan does. Gentle listener, welcome to this committee podcast. I already said that, but I'm going to say it again. This is the podcast for Tuesday, May 27th. I am your host for this evening. Ooh, Arthur's got Hooiser beer. I am your host for this evening. I am obnoxiously Pitt Girl, because every podcast is someone's first. If you're a regular listener, you know I am not Jordan, but I am here hosting. Alongside me, I have Commissioner Escalante as usual, and Beth as usual, and Arthur on the ones and twos, and his Indiana Hooiser beer.
Hooiser beer.
And special guest Adam. Adam, how are you?
I'm great. Like I said before we started, my wife and daughter are on a hiking trip, so I'm playing Bachelor this week. So
Hell yeah. Have you, in the eternal words of Action Cookbook, eaten something very stupid yet?
no, I got a takeaway pizza.
Yeah,
counts.
that counts. That's,
Okay.
I mean, there we go. That's the beginning.
Yes.
Yeah, it for me, like when the wife goes away with the kids, and I got like a evening to myself or something. It's, hey, you remember that ad for that fast food thing or that restaurant thing that, you know, they would never let you order? It's time to get that thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, usually my tradition the first day when I'm home alone is I order pizza.
Yeah, that works. Happy Tuesday pizzas.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's very reasonable. And then you can have the breakfast of champions the next day, leftover
Yes.
cold pizza.
Mm-hmm.
See, I don't like cold pizza. I know it's a thing, but I just
Obnoxiously, Pitt boyfriend doesn't like cold pizza either. And he thinks I'm weird, and I think he's weird for liking reheated pizza. So we've just sort of reached detente about this.
The cold pizza is for me too. I will eat that.
I don't have anything against cold pizza. I just like pizza too much to have any get cold. You know what I mean? Like, if I got pizza, I'm eating it.
I'm eating it.
What is your reheating strategy if you're going to reheat it? Because reheated pizza, it differs greatly depending on the method that you have chosen. There
I
are
nuke it.
serious mistakes to be made there.
Microwave, baby.
No.
Yeah.
No,
God.
Yeah.
no.
Oh no,
Yes.
disaster. What a bad idea.
This is part of why I don't like reheated pizza, because microwave pizza is sad. If you put it in a pan
On
or
the
put
stove.
it in the oven, that's better.
If I have leftover pizza, I will not reheat it. Not because I think there's a quality difference between cold, like pizza from the fridge versus reheated pizza, you know, from like the toaster oven or something like that. But because I think pizza, especially the kinds of pizza that I order, right? Like I'm not ordering deep dish. I'm ordering slices, right? Or I'm ordering a pizza that, you know, is like a traditional thing you get. So to me, I feel like pizza is too lazy of a food to reheat. Like that's too much effort for me to put into pizza. Pizza is the thing that I order when it's late at night, maybe I've had a few beers. Like that's pizza. Pizza's not a like, oh, we're going to reheat this, we're going to do something fancy. No. We take the pizza out of the box, we eat it.
This is the way. Beth, how are you?
I have decided to embrace the meteorological truth of Pennsylvania right now. So I wore a sweater today. I had soup for lunch, and I'm drinking cider right now. Because if
All
it's
very
going to be
reasonable.
fall, then I'm just going full bore. Welcome to fall on the 27th of May.
Yeah, gentle listener, for context for you, I have my windows open. It is 68 degrees in my apartment, and I can hear the rain if I take my headphones off.
Yeah, it's been like 30s overnight here, sometimes 40s for like 2 weeks.
So what I'm hearing is football weather.
Yes, this is
Yeah.
football weather.
It is football season.
I mean, yeah,
It is for the
UFL.
UFL. Is there an echo in here?
I did kind of want to go to a curve game just to watch very sad, wet baseball players.
Oh,
Sad wet baseball.
I mean, I think it was perfect weather this weekend because, I was at a motorsports event. It just happened that they were holding the motorsports event in the same municipality as Home Field Apparel. And so Home Field Apparel, they were there selling their bomber jackets, and it was perfect bomber jacket weather. Like, I was sitting in the stands. I was not hot. I was not cold. And I mean, really the biggest thing that I noticed was not the temperature, but just the amount of compliments I got from the other attendees there on my Home Field Apparel jacket. And unfortunately, I had to tell all of them that Home Field Apparel had sold out, that literally, like, they didn't have any sizes left. I mean, when I got mine on Friday morning, and they were already out of some sizes.
damn.
So,
Jeez.
you know how crazy it was? I was listening to one of the things they do. They have like some stages set up where they're just interviewing people. Because you'll get like celebrities, notable people coming through, and you'll do interviews. And so they were doing an interview with Mario Andretti, and one of the guys doing the interview, who is a comedian by the name of Joey Molinaro, was wearing the jacket, the Indy 500 home field bomber jacket, and Mario Andretti said like I want one of those. So I was standing there in the audience. I'm like, Mario, this might be the first time that I could say you were too slow.
Commish, how are you?
Oh, good. It's Tuesday. It's been a wild and wacky adventure day. I've spent all day seemingly like not arguing online, but like people will say something, and I'm like, "Hey, I said that in the post." Like, but then it was the exact same thing at work. It was like I would say, like, you would send something at work and be like, "Hey, I have 2 requests," and then they would read the first one and forget the second one.
But then you get to be like, per my last
earlier
email.
emails.
And I was kind of like that on our social media accounts today too. It was like, I said there was going to be a G5/G6 version of this, and I had to do, like, I had that per my last email energy all day today.
Yes.
It was just like, per my last fucking read shit.
Have we considered that perhaps Instagram is leaking, and all of the people who can't read have migrated to other platforms?
I'm slowly making those mistakes too. It's like I can't read either, and I don't know if we're all just collectively mentally fried by everything at this point.
I mean, yes.
So it's and then like the holiday weekend was like, was it really a holiday weekend? Did that happen? And then the Tuesday is like an extra Monday, Tuesday and one, and everything's a short week this week. So
no,
it's whatever. It's fun.
I have a former boss from an actual job who spent a very, very long time working for a large school district, and said former boss is convinced that short weeks are haunted, and I am inclined to agree with him.
Yeah, everything when you work with the auto claim industry, it sucks because your holiday, you're closed, and typically you're never closed, and then like you're mandated to be closed. So then it's just like, oh my god, what kind of hell broke loose over the holiday weekend? And especially if there's like a full moon involved, which I don't think there was this time. It's especially haunted. So it was one of those like, y'all all need to calm down today. But I'm glad they enjoyed our podcast today. That came out on Tuesday, so it was a lot of fun.
It is Tuesday. Happy Tuesday.
That's correct.
Even though it feels like Monday.
It does.
With that, we have things to talk about.
There's things
first
and stuff.
Yeah, things. First and foremost is NCAA 26 is coming out soon. for Xbox and PS5, and according to a friend of the show, Matt Brown, not Switch 2 yet, but maybe. And there are covers now for the game. Ryan Williams and Jeremiah Smith appear on the standard edition, and there's a nice like t-shirt quilt behind them with the logos of many different schools.
Is that a t-shirt or a flag quilt?
I mean, it's some sort of textile with all the logos.
Is it the textile bowl between NC State and Clemson?
Well, I guess Clemson is on there. I would like to take this moment to lodge a formal complaint because both West Virginia and Penn State are on there and Pitt is not.
Oh,
by the way. Don't like that.
I just like the fact that you have West Virginia, K-State, Nebraska, and Penn State and Ole Miss just sort of in one column. These are completely equivalent institutions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, this quote is good. I love that when they put the logo, like they kind of half block OU. I know that they have North Carolina up in the corner. I'm like, why y'all hiding them up there? But we got to mention North Carolina now.
Is that SMU?
It is right behind
SMU and App State.
Yeah,
I want to know what they're hiding on the other side of Tennessee.
There could be anything.
It could be.
Wait, do we have? There's like a little tiny square, or like you can see a little tiny corner. Is it blue or purple?
It looks
blue.
It looks blue. It's more likely to be blue.
I mean,
it's not Pitt blue though.
No, that is not.
There is a blue, but he's blocking. I mean, is that Colorado behind Ryan Williams's left leg? And is that Miami at the bottom?
It probably is Miami at the bottom. That feels like the right.
I don't know if that's Colorado by the left leg or if it's Colorado up in the EGE 26 ALL block.
Do you think it's Iowa State at the bottom?
No, you can tell in the EGE ALL it is. Adam is right. It's App State.
It is App State.
If you zoom in, you can see it says Mountaineers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, I have a different view of this. Let me throw that in the chat.
Oh, okay. Oh.
There's a different view of this thing. I'm gonna throw it in the chat real quick.
I'm wondering if the one next to Auburn is Michigan State, actually.
Maybe.
So at the very top in this different view.
Oh, there's more rows.
There's another row.
Yeah.
So it is not.
Secret
row.
Hey.
There's a secret row.
Is that Kennesaw State?
That is Kennesaw State. So it's Florida State, Kennesaw State, Miami.
Texas
and then
A&M.
Texas A&M.
Man, you still can't tell what's right below Ohio State.
No.
Nope, still don't know that. Still can't tell what's next
maroon,
to Auburn.
Maybe.
Can't tell what's next to Texas.
Man,
maybe nothing.
I need to know what the secret school is.
There's two secret schools there's three
secret schools.
We need to know. Should I tweet that now?
It's one of the smartest things they could do to partially block some of these, because then anybody can be convinced that that's their school is just hiding behind someone's butt.
Is it maybe Colorado State?
I can kind of see that.
Oh God, Colorado State being on there and no Colorado would make me very happy.
But Colorado looks above Colorado.
That might be Colorado.
We need to figure out. Okay.
Yeah, EA, we need to know. The people need to know.
I'm posting it right now. What are the secret squares? We need to know.
There is also a deluxe edition cover. We haven't talked about that one yet.
Yes.
The deluxe edition cover has like every football player and a bunch of coaches and a bunch of mascots all just like standing together in a crowd, but you can also tell it's been photoshopped together. Like, it's kind of a bad Photoshop the longer you look at it. My favorite one is the fan with the Boise State necklace thing. But it looks like the Boise State logo just got like photoshopped on over her chest. And I don't think that is what happened, but it does look like that.
So I am zooming in at like 300% to see it. It's a necklace.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a turnover chain kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he's holding
I didn't know Boise State ever had a turnover chain.
They had a turnover throne, I thought.
Maybe?
Yeah, so Kirby Smart's in here, and Marcus Freeman is in here, and Ryan Day. Oh God, jump scared by James Franklin.
Is that Tim Tebow?
Why the fuck is Tim Tebow here?
It
He's
looks like
there
he's wearing
smiling.
Why
a
is Reggie
U-shirt.
Bush in the front row?
No, it's Florida. I just can't see because my monitor's bad.
Hey, we can make it bigger.
Ooh, thanks.
Even bigger.
Don't know.
Oh God,
My bifocals
too
don't
big?
have to have as much of a workout. Thank you.
Yes.
What random ref did they put in the middle of this?
Is it the one that it looks like the Rice ref that said stop using the lasers on
Yeah.
the field? Yeah, I don't. Do y'all remember that call or no?
I do.
Please refrain from using lasers.
Please refrain. There is a Tulane fan in here in the background.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
that's
wearing
good.
the angry wave shirt.
There's a Toledo fan over by the Indiana flag.
Who does not look
Yes.
happy to be there.
No, he really doesn't.
Like, why are we up in here? Why am I next to the Baylor cheerleader?
I do enjoy that Clemson got a band member in there, and it looks like a saxophonist because I think I see a neck strap.
There is a
Mhm.
neck strap. Yes.
I just like that it looks kind of like the crowd at a college game day, except there are players. Like that just,
Mhm.
I don't know. It just really strikes me when you see, because it other than the players, it's like, yeah, it's just normal looking. Because like the famous like coaches, people that you actually recognize, still like look like they could kind of like Reggie Bush wearing a home field apparel jacket. Like, yes, I can recognize him as Reggie Bush, but he doesn't like if I didn't know it was Reggie Bush, he wouldn't look out of place in the background
Mhm.
of college game day. But then just like the players in pads, it's kind of like, huh.
It took me a long time of staring at this to realize that Puddles has his arms up in the air.
Oh yeah, actually, I
Oh.
just noticed that
'cause
now that you
Puddles-
pointed it out.
Yeah. I'm like, what are those weird white things? I'm like, oh my God, it's his arms.
Why does he look like he's being held hostage?
He looks like a Roblox.
I mean, or it's like there's the other side of the camera. There is someone has a gun pointed only at Puddles.
Is guy in front of him throwing up the shocker?
That's the forks up
it's Kenny.
for Kenny
Oh,
Dillingham.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This guy in front. It's Kenny Dillingham. Like I think I put this section.
Yes, he is throwing the shocker,
Yes.
but not for inappropriate reasons.
For totally appropriate reasons. Got
He's
it.
Obviously.
He's forking them.
Yeah, and the Michigan fan behind Puddles with wearing the B shirt.
Yeah.
Oh, he also looks unhappy to be here.
Ryan Day looks like he's a quarter of a second away from stabbing James Franklin in the back and enjoying every moment of it. This is a full-on Ides of March situation.
I mean,
Dan Lanning doesn't always have the 70s mustache, does he?
He's had facial hair, but yeah, I think so. But he maybe he's just letting it grow out a little bit more.
Yeah, the mustache seems particularly pronounced to me in this picture in a way that's a little bit unsettling.
They put an Instagram filter on it. I don't know. I would want to hang out in the section with Puddles, and then you have 8 Ball just
looming.
There's the Wazoo flag. There's a cadet. There's a Cal fan.
So
yeah, that's what yeah.
Cat.
Wait, where's
so cat posters are a thing.
Oh no, that's the Clemson Tiger. I'm sorry.
Yes, that's 8 Ball.
And 8 Ball memes are a thing. Why don't we have 8 Ball cat posters? Imagine 8 Ball in that pose with a thing underneath that's believe in yourself. I would hang that in my office.
Yeah.
You say that, and I'm just thinking about 8 Ball lolcats. 8 Ball is stealing cat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we play the game of 8 Ball is watching you masturbate, no one is ever going to masturbate again. That's not true. There's 10 people who will, but for upsetting reasons.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think we want to get into that.
That's somebody's something.
Here's what I'm gonna say. I think that line of topic goes to a worse place than 8 Ball watching you masturbate.
Fair.
Listener, if you would like to discuss this at Anthrocon, we can send someone to interview you. Just let us know.
Are we going to get media credentialed to Anthrocon?
Oh my God.
Oh no. Moving on.
Moving on. Out of all the people in this particular Photoshop, I would like to befriend beaming elderly Nebraska fan who is holding up a license plate that says "Beat CU."
Yes.
Yes.
This guy is bringing the energy we want to the function.
Yeah, I don't think you want to discuss politics with them, but I bet they know where all the good restaurants are within about 100 miles of the state of Nebraska.
Yeah, he will direct me to the best place to get a runza.
Yeah. Well, and he knows the greasy spoon that has the turkey gravy that like clogs your veins up.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. All right. So
I
college
found
football
the bottom
26.
of it. I got it.
Coming soon.
The 4 schools.
Mm-hmm.
It's Colorado.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Michigan State and USC.
Okay. I buy that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I actually have a photo of that.
Okay.
I was able to get
the
that.
missing block is okay.
The missing block is that. So those are that I was trying to figure that out. So that's perfect. I'll throw that in the chat. There's another row up top too that has UCLA, TCU, Iowa, Navy, and Tulane.
Hell yeah. Justice for Pitt, though.
Somebody tweeted that at us and then they deleted it.
Maybe they were afraid that the game was going to come after them. Were they trying to dodge an NDA?
I don't know.
I'm really sorry. I'm sorry if we blew up your spot. Find out what the inside of EA jail is like.
Oh no, I don't think we want to know what EA jail looks like.
No.
It has to be worse than stadium jail inside the vet. Like so much worse.
I went there once with Puddles. And I can't say anything else about that while Puddles is still shuffling around this mortal coil, but you know.
You can't say anything else about that while we're recording.
That's true.
Okay, there you go.
I will be asking you about this the next time I see you in person.
Absolutely. As well you should.
Okay. All right. Moving on. Speaking of litigation, look at me. I can do transitions, folks. A note in the show note on behalf of, I assume, Commish.
Yeah.
The constant relitigation of the Alabama 2024 season because they missed the playoffs is annoying. Yes.
Seconded.
Yes, it is. It's so annoying. Alabama fans, I am begging you to not. What if we didn't? What if you all just stopped?
Mm-hmm. We do not need to hear about that one time when you almost did a thing, when you have done a thing many times in recent memory.
So many times.
I need us to come up with something that we can counter with that's a sicko's argument for something like that.
Okay.
Like, hey, you know, like Alabama missed the playoff because they lost Oklahoma 24-3. That happened. Is there something that we could say like sickos like, hey, like this school missed the Potato Bowl because they lost to whatever the school happened?
We need to yes. In this case, we need to find a school that like mostly makes the Potato Bowl, and then the 1 year when they didn't make the Potato Bowl.
Okay.
Oh, see, my response was going to be that ULM was going to go to Shreveport, except that they didn't go to Shreveport.
Well, they didn't have good enough grades, but La Tech got to go. ULM would have been obliterated by Army. I'm glad La Tech landed on that grenade. But ULM, no. Man.
ULM also had 2 close losses. Like they could have done the thing if only they had won at Marshall.
Is there like a G5 like equivalent to like, you know, not making the playoff, but like, you know, what's the G5? Like they normally pair up like the American versus the Sun Belt champion, or the
the thing is, it's Boise State. How many times would they have made the playoff?
So there's Conference USA Sun Belt Bowl game versus Sun Belt Bowl game. Like what are those games?
You know what Alabama fans are sounding like? Central Florida fans from a couple years ago.
Ooh, all 3 Alabama fans that listen to this podcast are so mad right now.
If you're really about it, get home field to make a t-shirt.
All right, Sunbelt Bowl tie-ins.
I don't want this to sound like this is about this. This is about the Sun Belt, but the fact that Commish and I are both Googling this in May, feels like incredibly degenerate behavior. But I want to say that, like, if we were Googling,
it matches our name of the committee.
It is, but and I would feel the same way if I was Googling SEC bowl tie-ins right now. There's something about bowl tie-ins in May that like gives me hives.
Well, especially because they're all so bowl tie-ins right now are just like question mark anyway, because half the conferences are like question mark, and so like all of this feels slightly wrong to be seeking information about.
Oh boy, the 68 Ventures Bowl is calling my name.
The bowl that have conference tie-ins that people remember are now part of the playoffs, so they don't have conference tie-ins anymore.
I mean, who was in the Myrtle Beach Bowl?
Or they did, but now the Pac-12 is not a going concern. Like, I'm specifically thinking about the Sun Bowl. Like, I have no idea who the other half of the Sun Bowl is anymore. I don't think anybody else knows either. It's ACC and question mark.
I want to say this right now, and I'm going to say this on this podcast because there are people who listen to this podcast who could do something about this. For the love of God, if the Pop-Tarts Bowl, the Potato Bowl, or the Duke's Mayo Bowl ever become part of the playoffs, I fucking quit.
Okay. But also, what if playoff Pop-Tart?
I can't. I need my fun unencumbered by the discourse, for the love of God.
Oh, that's true.
That's fair.
But at the same time, think about how funny it would be if we're in a universe where there's a large enough playoff that the Pop-Tarts Bowl got drafted for this. They change nothing, and it's like Michigan, Alabama.
I mean, it wouldn't take
all
that
of the
many
most
more rounds.
serious people in the world have to pay thousands of dollars to go see the Pop-Tart emerge from the toaster before their playoff games start.
We're like 2 or 3 years away from the Pop-Tart being a full-on telenovela.
I mean, if they move to 24 teams, this might happen.
I want to know, like, if like they win the game in the first round of the 16-team playoff, whatever that's going to happen soon, which because they keep leaning towards 16. But do you think like the team that wins the Pop-Tart Bowl refuses to eat the dead body of the Pop-Tart? They don't want to celebrate it, like they won the NBA Cup. Like they didn't want to celebrate winning the NBA Cup. They're like, hey, we're not eating the dead Pop-Tart. That just came out and sacrificed themselves because it's bad luck, and we got to go to the Rose Bowl the next week. And
I can hear Nick Saban saying that the Pop-Tart is rat poison.
The Pop-Tart is rat poison. The rat poison flavored Pop-Tart. What is the worst flavored Pop-Tart?
Rat poison. Rat poison is the worst
Pop-Tart.
flavored
Yes.
Pop-Tart. You heard it here first, folks.
Does rat poison taste bad?
I don't know, and I don't
I
know
don't
that
wanna
I want
I
to
don't
find
know
out.
that I care to try it.
I root for ULM. We've
I mean,
never been
it
given
breaks
rat
down
poison.
membranes, so in theory, just like handling green block should be enough that you could taste it, just because of the way that it passes through membranes.
I hate that I'm Googling what does rat poison taste like.
I feel like it should taste good to get them to eat it.
Yeah, but rats aren't the most choosy customers.
That's true. Yeah, they'll eat anything. I mean, you
What
see
happened
Pizza
with
Rat.
the
Pizza
rat?
Rat probably isn't worrying about reheated or cold pizza.
Exactly. I mean, we learned that rats are willing to eat New York pizza, so like their taste
Oh.
is deeply questionable.
Oh,
Yeah.
Local Altunian weighs in. Is it
Do
Altunian?
they have rats there?
Altunin,
Altunin.
Altoid.
I like
We do
mine better.
Altoid a fair amount.
If we have rats in
Um,
Washington, I'm sure there's rats in Altoona.
Oh yeah, there's definitely rats here.
Per the Wildlife Center of Virginia, rodenticide poisons are designed to smell and taste good to rodents to entice them to eat
Oh,
them.
there we go.
So,
oh.
what does that taste like? I don't know,
To
but the rats
rodents,
like it.
though.
I mean, I feel like that's the least we can do. If we're giving them poison, at least it tastes good.
So the Google AI summary, which of course I do not trust or respect, but it does say that the most common rodenticides are designed to be appealing to rats, often with a sweet or grain-based flavor. One source mentions that warfarin, when mixed with cornstarch, can taste like a marshmallow, and there is a link. I'm not asking any additional questions.
I'm referring to this as the Jonestown theorem.
Okay. It's just like,
We need to sit with that for a moment.
yeah. I was just like, I need. Do I have a funny retort? I do not. It's like, okay.
more college football playoff discussion.
Well, fresh
We're
off of the
really
rat
good at
poison.
this.
Speaking of rat
We're
poison,
so
Speaking
we're
of rat
so good
poison.
at this, guys.
Greg Sankey. No,
Greg Sankey.
This thing today.
Yeah, per Ross Dellinger, Greg Sankey says certain formats, the 4-4-2-2-1, for example, could actually, quote, cost the SEC qualifying teams. In a top 16 or 5 automatic qualifier plus 11 at large format, the SEC could conceivably get 5 to 6 teams in. Here's a breakdown of the number of teams by conference finishing in the top 16 in the last 11 CFPs, and then there's a graphic. Yeah, Greg said it's like spring SEC meetings, and Greg Sankey's just like saying shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's just out here saying words.
if they have 6 teams that are that high up, they're getting the auto bids. Or they're getting the outright bids.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah. And like, also, I understand that there are a lot of teams in the SEC now and all of this. I find it difficult to believe that not entirely. I think a year in which the SEC qualified 6 teams for the CFP would be an unusual one.
Yeah. And so I haven't listened to Sunday's podcast. I don't know if you talked about this
Not
then,
much, no.
but we have a Notre Dame rule again.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so tired. It never was invoked the last time it was around, but people complained about it constantly. And now we're going to have this. We're going to have a Notre Dame rule again. First off, just make it independence. If you're going to do this, just make it independence. Second off,
UMass deserves the rule too.
yes. Second off, come back and complain to me when a 25th ranked Iowa makes it in because that's the 4th Big Ten team to come in.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're going to have that conversation at some point.
Okay, but that's going to be kind of fun. Number 25 Iowa making the playoff, and then someone has to deal with Kirk Ferentz. That's kind of great. I'm not saying that that's fair. I'm not saying that's right. I'm not saying I genuinely support it.
Oh, I do.
But it would be tremendous content.
Oh, I do. Man,
Our playoff draw is let's get bludgeoned with a sock full of nickels.
That's when Utah makes the playoff.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's going to, oh God, Utah, Iowa, first round
Nickels sock state.
game. Can you imagine Utah versus Iowa?
Oh my God, that'd
in
be
a
so
first
good.
round game?
It's just a whole bunch of
Laser
people
eyes.
staring at each other going,
Kyle Whittingham and Kirk Ferentz just steely glaring across the sideline.
Making incomprehensible old man noises
What
at
is-
each other. Yeah.
What is like one of those Western movies where they're just staring at each other? And it's just like, and it's just like a
probably
bunch of them
happens in the
staring at each other.
searchers. I think everything happens in the searchers.
It was a high noon, big noon, high noon Saturday.
I did Saturday.
That's a different.
Problem
That's
is it's
not-
a playoff game, so it's going to be on a Thursday. Which is a whole other complaint that I have that we won't have to get into that.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. There it is. I
Why are
found
they
it.
constantly trying to break the thing? They need to stop breaking the thing.
Yeah, just let
Right?
that's the other thing. Like, we've had the thing for literally 1 year. Let the thing exist.
And it was great.
It was
And
okay.
Do you see how early the SEC teams lost? They got to revamp this whole thing.
Oh shit, Pacers! Sorry.
Did they win?
They're going to.
Okay.
Yay! Beth, this feels like a good time for me to tell you that I often forget that the Pacers exist.
That's fine. This is a reasonable thing.
I know why the
Okay.
Pacers won because Pat McAfee was there.
Ugh.
Oh,
Yeah.
God. Why? I can't have anything.
I love how you got the double West Virginia Pacer connection right there. You know?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was
Sorry,
it
Beth.
was really fun on Friday when the crowd was booing the New York dog every time it went past.
In the Weenie 500?
Yeah.
New York
That's
dog?
so
Yeah,
good.
every time the New York dog came past, the whole crowd would boo.
Oh my God.
I mean, it was very fun. Like, people at the track were really into. Like, I didn't go to the game on Sunday night because I was tired and it was expensive. But like just walking around the city, like, yeah, man, people were about it.
I'm going to be in Indianapolis, almost certainly during Game 4 of the NBA Finals. And the one friend I'm going with is like, we should look up the price for tickets. And I'm like, no, you shouldn't.
No.
I know what
No,
those
you
numbers
should
are
not.
going to be. And he's like, well, I mean, if it's a couple $100s, I'm like,
No,
nobody.
that
Add a
is
zero.
not what that number
Add a zero
means.
to
Add a zero, like 8. Like,
yeah.
this has been a while. I was with another friend of mine who's a Pacers fan. We were out at a restaurant late at night, and someone in a neighboring table was making a comment about, like, I don't know why this series is a big deal. Like, Indiana and the Knicks have no history. And I thought my friend was going to jump over and start throwing haymakers at this table of strangers. Oh, buddy. There's whole 30 for 30s about that, pal.
Mm-hmm.
This is news to me, but I also know nothing about the NBA. And like I said, I regularly forget that the Pacers exist. So that's on me. This is me not knowing.
Tyrese Halliburton did the choke move in Game 1.
I know! And Reggie Miller was, that was so good.
He's on the call.
I was so happy. I made like 27 just incoherent sounds at the TV in about 30 seconds when that happened.
We have additional news from Greg Sankey. I regret to inform you that there is more Greg Sankey content.
Do the Sankey Legg.
I just picture him like up on the stage.
He's on the stage and
he's got his toe pointed in his suit, and he's podium, just like waving his leg around.
He's behind the podium, just doing the Sankey Legg. That it amuses me. I don't know.
It's funny every time.
All right, do the Sankey Legg. I can't help it.
That's gonna be in my head for the next week.
It's never left my head. So welcome.
If we ever send you to SEC Media Days, you have to.
Oh my God! There's somebody's fantasy football team that says "Do the Sankey Legg." I found it on Yahoo.
Oh, it might be Ross Dillinger. Who knows?
That guy. Welcome to the Sickos Committee.
Welcome.
So, Commissioner Sankey Legg said, in the current college football playoff format, quote, "It's clear that not losing is more important than playing quality opponents." My guy, the object of the game is to not lose.
You play to win the game.
Mm-hmm. We can have a conversation about strength of schedule, but also, like, the idea is to not lose, and also, like, the SEC is a good conference. There are good football teams in it. Can we stop with the huffing your own farts thing?
Yeah, if you want to not play an SEC schedule, there's a really easy way to go about that.
Also,
don't be in the SEC.
Don't be in the SEC.
A, don't be in the SEC. And B, like, my guy, I'm not saying it's easy, but it's not that hard.
But our schedule strength.
No, this is fart huffing.
You chose this.
You chose it.
Tennessee is like number 17 in the rankings every year, no matter what, even if they don't deserve it. And then the poll inertia sticks, and we get to be like, oh, this is so hard. Like,
I just always assumed there was like a gravity well at 17, and they just kind of get stuck in it.
It's like Notre Dame and 10.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
At least Brian Kelly at 10. Let's put it that way.
That's the one thing I really love about our poll. Like, there is no poll inertia.
No.
It's there's Iowa inertia.
Iowa and one.
Iowa.
Yeah.
I was there. I think I was like one of those what is the law if it stays in motion if it's in it's never in motion though.
Second law.
I think it's second.
It's never in motion.
An object that is it also is
an motion stays in motion,
and an object at rest tends to stay at rest.
Yeah, that's Iowa. It stays at rest up there
unless acted on by an outside force.
Mm-hmm.
And in the case of Iowa, it's got to be a pretty big ass force.
pretty big punch.
Yeah, it's Brian Ferentz not hitting his numbers and then
Yes.
getting fired. That's the big ass force.
Right. It was Iowa on Iowa violence.
Do you know where Brian Ferentz is this year?
Ooh. Is he still wearing his ankle monitor? Can we find him?
Oh, he's gone west.
How far west?
Really west.
Hawaii?
No, not that far.
New Jersey?
No, he was in Maryland last year.
Yeah, but I mean, if you go far enough west, you'll end up east.
Washington?
That's true.
Tell me Utah.
No.
Oh my god.
So he is the tight ends coach at Fresno State.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I think that's good. I mean, Iowa has produced a ton of tight ends.
California just seems like a really weird place for him to be.
Yeah. I mean, it is Fresno, to be fair.
Fresno State offensive stats 2024.
Fresno, the Iowa of California.
No, this
Many
is the
people are
furthest.
saying
I mean, you're not wrong.
This is the furthest west that Brian Ferentz has been. Like the furthest west that Brian Ferentz was Iowa.
Yeah.
He was at the Patriots, Iowa, Maryland last year, completely across the country, California, at Fresno State. Go west, young man. He needs one of those West Coast things to refresh. The Ferentz refresher.
That is a Starbucks drink I will not be trying.
They had 21 rushing touchdowns last year.
Additional SEC spring meetings, because it's not media days. It's just like we're doing some yap.
We're just saying.
We're just having a yap. Alabama's Kalen DeBoer on being left out of last year's CFP. Quote, "You wonder what would have happened if other people would have played our schedule. My guy, they probably would not have lost to Oklahoma 24-3. Have you thought about that?
I mean,
Do you think about that?
Was that a thing they did?
That is a thing they did. They
Yeah.
lost to a bad Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Badly.
Like a 500 Oklahoma.
6-6 Oklahoma Sooners.
So you're telling me that at least one thing that would have happened is Oklahoma's record would have gotten worse.
Probably.
Yeah.
True. I forgot Oklahoma lost that Armed Forces Bowl to Navy. 21-20.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I just remembered that.
I watched that.
I bet you that's gotta, like, when the Alabama thing gets relitigated again, it's like, you lost to Oklahoma, and then like all the Oklahoma fans are like, don't, like, that was the best win we had all year, and it's being used against us. It's gotta feel awful. It's gotta feel awful.
Oklahoma's other losses are, I mean, if this is a 6-6 Oklahoma, the losses are mostly respectable. I will take this moment to appreciate the stupid ass game they played against Auburn. I listened to that game on the Blitz. I followed that game through via the College Football Blitz. Shout out to our friends at Learfield. And I remember Auburn's quarterback throwing a dumbass pick and like slamming my hands on my steering wheel while I was on Interstate 81 going like 75 miles an hour in the rain. What a vibe. What a vibe. Also, this is your regularly scheduled reminder that the back half of the Temple OU home and home is occurring.
Oh my god!
In like week 1 this year. So Beth, if you don't have anything else to do, we can go do
Philly?
that.
Oh my!
Oh, we can go stay with friend of the show, Becca.
Yeah.
September 13th at the Link.
Oh, September 13th. It's not week 1. All right. Oh, wait, that's Brawl Day. Never mind.
Weekend.
No,
Yeah.
that's Brawl Day.
Not
womp
happening.
womp.
Sorry.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Greg Sankey on if considers balancing what's best for SEC and what's best for all of college football with new playoff. Quote, "I don't need lectures from others about what's good for the game. I don't lecture others about good of the game. I'm looking for ideas to move us forward."
What?
This is some quality corporate bullshit.
Yeah.
Apparently you do.
Is he tone policing?
It's just like, hey.
Oh yeah, I think he is tone policing. If a man said this to me in a meeting, I would read it as tone policing.
Yeah, that's how I would read it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, was I being shrill? Was someone being shrill, Greg?
Are we just bashing Greg Sankey? That's fun. Let's do this.
I mean, I don't know.
Sankey
If I were
Legg.
Greg Sankey, I would say things that were not just empty, soulless corporate things.
Do the Sankey Legg.
I understand that it is his job to say the corporate things. Hello,
he gets
podcast?
paid. He gets paid millions of dollars to.
Yes, he does get a lot of money.
He does. Greg Sankey said coaches did, quote, indeed, discuss several CFP format models today, including the 5+11 referenced yesterday. Sankey described their feeling on that model as, quote, why wouldn't that be fine? And I'm inclined to agree. I think that would be fine, actually.
Yeah.
5 auto bids is enough auto bids. Hello, Podcat.
Listener, Podcat is perched on my chair behind me, staring up at the black skylight.
But listen to what the ADs of the SEC said after Sankey said that. Why wouldn't that be fine? According to Ross Ellinger.
Mm-hmm. Florida AD Scott Strickland, quote, a committee is not ideal to choose a postseason. I question whether it is appropriate for college football. My God.
All right, counterpoint. I am fine with donating podcast services to eat various bowls of food and just seed the playoff that way.
Why do I feel like we're going to end up with someone being like, but what if we made the BCS AI?
Oh, no.
I'm a little surprised this hasn't been suggested already.
Don't put that out in the universe.
Do not wish that into existence.
No.
Do not speak that into existence.
I'm sorry.
It's already bad enough of like we asked AI to predict the next 50 fucking college football playoff champions.
This is the worst version of ChatGPT.
I mean, now I am kind of curious. I kind of do want to ask AI to make a college football postseason model.
No.
The AI is Punt GPT.
Punt GPT.
Punt GPT. Official property of the Sickos Committee. TM.
Listen,
this is our new large language model.
If we want to ask something comically young and incredibly bad at niche things to make a college football playoff model, I will ask my 4-year-old niece. It will eat up far less energy. It is way more eco-friendly. And we're going to end up with something that makes about the same amount of sense.
Mm-hmm. And there's no intellectual property theft.
Correct.
That's true.
I'm a jobs creator. Jobs for 4-year-olds.
Hey.
The children
yearn for the mines.
They yearn for the algorithms. It's so ridiculous.
The justification, by the way, for the committee not being appropriate for college football is, in other sports, there is more data and games for a committee to consider. It's not the case with football. Again, the point of the committee is to compensate for the fact that there's not enough data. How did this man become athletic director?
Because he was willing to say things like this with a very straight face and take a lot of money to do so.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's fair. Bring back the BCS computers.
I'm good with that.
At this
I think we tried to do that at some point. We just this is what the playoff would be with the BCS or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, ESPN does that.
Okay.
They'll tell you what it would be with the BCS. And I'm sure there's so many people now who are like, what was the BCS? Pepperidge Farm remembers.
That's that TV show, right? The Breaking Bad spinoff?
God.
Perfect.
Okay.
No doubt. Sorry.
That works. Better call Saul. Work. I like that. All right.
Oh my God.
That works. BCS.
Yeah. Additionally, so the discourse is leaking.
Yeah.
And the discourse has expanded out into places that we probably should expect. But the thing that we learned from this is more than beyond the fact that the discourse is leaking. I will read a tweet into the record from Congressman Brendan Boyle, who's a Democrat representing Philadelphia, Greater Philadelphia. Let me state this as clearly as I can. The Big Ten and SEC should be very, very careful about some of the decisions they are about to make because they appear hell-bent on ruining major college football. I think they need congressional hearings into their conclusion. We can talk about the content of this tweet in a moment. The thing that is of interest from this screenshot is that this is a screenshot taken from the committee account, and the button at the top says follow back, which means that there is at least one elected official following us idiots on Twitter.
Woo!
Adam, I'm pleased to inform you that he went to Notre Dame.
Awesome.
Yeah, I saw this tweet and then I saw the follow back and I was like, wait, like like what account am I on? And I'm like, I'm on the committee account. And I'm like, wait, this guy follows the committee. And I'm like, we have a congressman in the committee. Mm-hmm. Okay.
At least one congressman.
At least one that we know of.
Yeah. I will take this moment to mention, as I mentioned to Commish earlier today, that there is a sitting senator who followed me on my personal Twitter account for a really, really long time, like since I was in undergrad. I will not name him. I will say that used to be a lot cooler than it is now.
Yeah, I don't even know who this congressman is, but I just saw follow back and it got thrown into our timeline. And I was like, I just wanted to put it in there. I was like, okay, a congressman follows the committee. So yes, yeah, quite enjoyable.
I feel like once I had elected officials who followed me who resigned in disgrace, I'm kind of like I don't really care about who it is.
No,
like I'm good.
This actually, Arthur, you just reminded me also that Joe Exotic follows me on Twitter, or at least he used to. In part because some of my other college friends and I used to shitpost about him when he was running for Senate.
Oh no!
Are there any like current? Because I like legendarily, right? Jose Bautista was the like follows everyone on Twitter guy.
Mm-hmm. He followed me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Is there anyone like current now, maybe on like another platform or something, where it's like, yeah, like that dude just. I mean, I guess at a certain point you're just not using your timeline anymore. Mm-hmm. So yeah, why not? I don't know.
I mean, there are the accounts on like the Resist Lib accounts on Blue Sky that follow like 30,000 accounts. And I'm just like, I follow a lot of accounts. I follow more accounts than most people, but it's still just like, I don't understand what the point of this is. This is too many.
Too many.
So anyway, Congressman Boyle, welcome to the committee.
If you want a more serious discussion of this, you should check out Matt Brown's extra points from this morning.
Uh-huh.
Which had some really good points about like when you invite Congress in, they might look at more than what you were hoping they would look at. Be careful about that.
You say this and now I'm imagining Congress as a vampire. You must invite Congress in. But once Congress has been invited in, They can do whatever they want to you.
Oh, the congressman's from Philly. He must be a Temple fan.
Maybe
he went to Notre Dame.
He went to Notre Dame.
Okay. Go Owls.
Secret Penn fan.
With an MPP from Harvard. But yeah, he's just here for the toast and Zamboni.
Absolutely. As are we all, really.
I mean,
honestly.
Franklin Field, let's do this.
In other college football news, GT has posted a very, very blingy ring that reads Summer Ice.
So
and
when I first saw this
is the Birmingham Bowl ring? That's what this is for?
When I first saw this, I was like, did they win a national title in like softball or something? But no. It's for the Birmingham Bowl.
Yeah, this looks like at least like an ACC championship ring, which they did not win this year.
So they lost the Birmingham Bowl too.
So this is this is we did a thing in 2024.
I mean, they made a bowl game. They had a rough time with Jeff Collins. It's fine. And Brent Key is his first.
Who among us?
4, 5, 6,
They did play a genuine banger against Georgia, even though they didn't win.
The 8 OT game, yes. I mean, in the middle they beat Florida State and Miami.
That's true.
Florida State was the first win of the year. We had no idea how bad it would get then. And that was in
Ireland.
That's the Irish National Championship. So this is an Irish National Championship ring. I'm going to allow this. This is the Ireland National Championship ring.
Mm-hmm.
Back of the envelope, just a quick count. I think there's about 25 diamonds just in the outline of the football alone.
You know, what I've always loved about Jostin's designs is how understated they are. Just real subtle.
Yes.
It's
like, hey,
minimalist when you think about it.
Hey, you got to get your senior ring. You're gonna wear it after senior year. Did anybody wear the ring after senior year?
Oh, I know a lot of people from Concordia College who wore their class ring like a badge of honor.
Well, like college though, but I mean like
the high school ring.
High school ring is fair. Yeah.
You wear it after high school.
I don't know anybody that actually bought theirs.
Yeah.
I remember I sat one afternoon and like designed what mine would be, and then like built myself a little mock-up in MS Paint because that was how I was living my life at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember looking at it and being like, that's a terrible ring. I would not wear that.
To me, like, I feel like I would want to achieve more than just graduating to get a ring, right? Like, I feel like rings are for championships. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like graduating is enough of a championship for me.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like, I would have to, I would need like a ring for some greater achievement, right? Because, like, you think about like graduation, like most people graduate. You know, it would have to be something truly exceptional.
I like also how the GT ring has what is in the engagement ring industry referred to as a hidden halo.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Where it's got the ring, it's got the diamonds around the outside going the other way too.
Oh.
So if you look at the ring from the side, there's diamonds.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah. You got to know.
Hidden halo.
And we also know whose ring this is, too.
Yes, we very much do.
It is Brent Key.
It's got his name on it.
Very clearly says Key, yes.
It does say Key. It's not Frank Key.
I'm now a little concerned for GT football players with long last names. Like, how does a last name with more than like 5 letters fit in there?
Yeah, imagine Uyunglele's name fitting in there.
Well, I mean, he didn't play for Georgia Tech.
I know, but
I feel like if you're DJ, your ring just says DJ.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Gosh, that would be a fun bit to have like rings with all the people you beat on the ring. Like, just we took that dude down, put him on the ring. My victims.
Speaking of, so on the underside, I'm trying to figure out who these teams are. So obviously, one is Miami. They have 2 scores.
Florida State.
Mm-hmm.
Are that's Florida State?
Yeah,
it is.
That's why I said it's the Irish.
It's the interlocked F and S. It's not the Seminole.
Yeah. Okay.
They use that logo more for baseball.
Oh my God, I forgot that.
You know, last year is a good year to create a piece of jewelry commemorating your victory against Florida State.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, I forgot on Georgia Tech staff. So Chris Wenke's on Georgia Tech staff as the quarterbacks coach. But then I scrolled down to the offensive line coach, and I forgot about this gentleman, and I just laughed again. So
checking the chat.
Jeep Wade. Jeep spelled Geep.
Is it Jeep or is it Geep?
Geep.
Geep.
Win one for the keeper.
Geep.
If I knew this guy, every time I saw him, I would probably just be like, geep, geep, and then just walk away.
I scrolled to his profile and it says, the Geep Wade file. The Jeep Wade file. I'm sorry, man. Okay, do that, ad, please.
Yep. The ad reads. This is the time for the ad reads.
Win one for the Geeper.
Oh goodness. I had to scroll further than I expected to for the ads.
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of stuff that I have in here. I have for the end of the pod.
Oh, we're a long boy tonight.
Oh, yeah, I got a special thing.
The show notes are so many pages.
I got a special one.
But first, we must do the podcast business.
Yes.
subscribe to our Beehive. It's
Behive.
where all the written content lives. Yes, Beehive. It's where all the written content lives. Off-season series for forgotten NCAA records and various other things. We just put one out today as we record. That was great. About I don't remember, but it's real good. I promise.
It was NC State winning a football game by only gaining 10 yards.
Yes, that.
Yes.
We talked about it on Sunday and I immediately forgot.
Beady feathers. Beady.
So, yeah, we have all those things. So subscribe, and then you get things in your inbox that you can read. Check out our link tree and our various bios on social. We have coupons and discounts for you that also support us a little bit. If you like coffee or tea or various other things, there are things in there. As always, you can join the Patreon. It is just $5 a month. You get to hang out with us in the Discord and see all the insane things that we are posting as we record the podcast without context. And also just hang out with us and our friends generally in there and talk about stuff. You can help us do research. You can submit suggestions. There's a whole bunch of good stuff in there. And there's podcasts behind the paywall too. So check out all that good stuff in there. We do have a merch store. We've got a lot of stuff. I did just receive a request, Commish, for the In This House We Believe stickers to come back, which I think are maybe not on the merch store right now. So, we got stuff and we're adding stuff all the time. So check out the merch store there. That is sickoscommittee.org. I can personally confirm that the linear time was a mistake. Coffee mugs are really good. So go get one of those. You deserve it. We have a YouTube. We just hit 200,000 views on the YouTube.
Congratulations.
So many.
Yay!
Yeah.
We got all the watches. Yeah, so go watch things. You can let the podcast play in the background if you want. And we've got actual videos. Commission Bridget make actual videos that have things that you can look at with your eyes too.
Sometimes stuff and things.
I just recorded 2 today.
Hell
at
yeah.
lunch, so we're working on that. So
I still love the shorts.
The shorts are great. After each of the podcasts, we have shorts done by Hector, which is fun there, and then our podcast videos are on there. And it's
we
a
like
lot of
shorts.
fun.
They're comfy and easy to wear.
I'm working on converting some of my old Beehive blogs to being slideshow videos that way, which some of them work a little bit better on that format too than in just long form reading. You just like to watch a video, so you have the option. So
Commish's audiobooks.
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
So yeah, we got the YouTube, we have an Instagram, we have a Twitch. So we're on most of the social places where people are doing social things. So just, search Sickos Committee. We're there probably. You'll find us. Check out our friends at the Message Board Geniuses podcast. They go to places where we dare not go. And last, but certainly by no means least, our friends at Home Field Apparel, the pride of Speedway, Indiana. I am falling down on the job tonight, but I see a Notre Dame shirt. I see, Beth, I didn't see your shirt. We got a West Virginia shirt. We've got Undefeated. Who is this?
New Mexico.
New Mexico State. Fantastic. We got New Mexico State. And of course, Arthur is wearing the Indianapolis Motor Speedway bomber jacket and looking real sharp.
Yep. You can't get the Indianapolis bomber jackets right now. They're all sold out. Everybody bought them at the Indy 500, but plenty of other great stuff on Home Field Apparel's website that they do have in stock that you can use a promo code for, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Counterpoint, you can reach out to Arthur and just make him an offer on his bomber jacket. If it's high enough, he'll probably say yes.
That is also potentially true.
You can't use the promo code there, though.
No.
That's true. No promo code. But if you are listening to this podcast and somehow you have not ordered from Home Field Apparel yet, and I question you a little bit if you are and you haven't, but if you haven't, because every podcast is someone's first and every Home Field order is someone's first. You can use discount code yes ha 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 yes. That's yes ha 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 yes with 3 ha's for 15% off your first order. And now, back to the show. I gotta scroll up.
Same.
Hooiser Bison is back.
Yes.
And there's a 2-minute release video for Hooiser Bison.
That's a really long video.
It was a fantastic, very boldly produced video. my dad is an IU fan, and I got him the fantastic home field. Speaking of home field, Bison sweater. The first year it came out, I think, for Christmas, and he did not know what it was. And like, that's when he grew up, was in the '60s. So I'm still kind of surprised about that. But anyways, yeah, very exciting that it's coming back. And it looks like that's going to be the on-field mascot now. At
Which
least.
is awesome. I'm watching the video on mute, and it starts with the Star Wars title crawl, giving the history of the Bison. Is very good. And at Hooiser Bison is a Twitter account that exists now.
Yeah. It's supposed to be coming in the fall.
Nice.
So
we see the back of the Bison. We don't see the face. I wonder if it's going to be a derpy face or a mean face. I'm going with mean face.
I'm picturing him with a nose ring.
Yes, definitely have to have a nose ring.
He better have a nose ring. All the cool kids have septums.
There's a really fun old picture of the Bison, just an old drawing that has him with a cutlass.
Ooh.
I need to see this.
One moment. Everything's on the wrong monitor today.
I just reopened the.
Ooh, that's nice.
He's got a sword and a beer.
I'm gonna need a home field of that immediately.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little surprised this doesn't exist already.
Yeah.
I like his like eyebrow too.
Look at the hair.
Mm-hmm.
Good hair.
This is a bison with a beard
chops.
and a saber and the start of a pompadour.
Mm-hmm. And like very serious sideburns.
And doing the 40s one eyebrow lift.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
This bison means business.
And very tall boots for his relatively short legs.
That's true.
It has a little bit of like medieval artist has never seen a bison energy, and I love that so much.
Do we think the bison is wearing leggings, or is he like living the Winnie the Pooh life?
I think
with shoes.
I think he's Porky Pig in it.
Mm-hmm.
Porky Pig in it.
The longer I look at this illustration, the more questions I have.
Yes.
This is a wonderful illustration, and it is perfect.
His facial expression seems like he's not really sure if he should be raising the beer or not.
Mm-hmm. Like he's not sure if it's a dry campus or not.
I see him more as like he's looking at you and like he knows that you disapprove of this, but he's doing it anyway.
Does he have fingers?
I mean, he has to if he's holding the beer.
I mean, yeah.
Well, you look at his other hand. He does have fingers. But he only has. Presumably, he has a thumb, so he only has 4.
It's very nice.
It's very nice. Yes, this is very good drawing. Home field, if you're listening.
This, please.
This, please. Him. In actual sports news.
Yeah.
The field for Omaha is set.
That's right.
I thought they were playing it in Omaha. Is that not the field?
I mean, I would hope that the field is in place and locked down and set.
Okay.
Yes.
You know, hopefully it's not running away.
I think they should Field of Dreams it.
If you build it, they will come.
In the sense that
Where?
In the sense that we're building a strange traveling field, or in the sense that you're going to put all of these teams in a gigantic corn maze, and whoever wanders out of it first is who's stuck playing the game.
Man, imagine a college postseason that involved like an Amazing Race style component of actually getting like everyone wants to talk about like the road to blank. I'm pretty sure the NCAA has that like trademarked, but what if it really was like an actual competition to try to find out how to get to the championship?
I think you would. Okay, so I love this concept, and I think you would learn by the end of this just how vital the center is to every football team.
Apparently, I need to follow Bison baseball because NDSU is in Fayetteville for this.
Yeah. I just wanted to just preview, if you want to just look at just, I guess, vibes only on all these teams, I'll make it a little bit bigger for you. If you want to go on color basis only, you're welcome to do that. But there are 16 regionals. There's the Nashville, Austin, Hattiesburg, LA, Corvallis, Athens, Tallahassee, Oxford, Chapel Hill, Baton Rouge, Eugene, Clemson, Auburn, Fayetteville, Conway, and Knoxville regionals. All the games start on the 30th, which that will be on Friday. And then that whole weekend will, like Sunday night, we should have everybody locked to go to the Super Regionals that start on the 6th of next week. So all of these teams will be whittled down to 16 from here. So which region has your vibes at this moment? Is it if it's based on teams, if it's based on uniforms and colors, or which one would you want to hang out at the most?
Who's the 4 seed in the Austin regional? Like, this is not UConn. This is a different Husky, but I don't know which one.
In the Austin regional?
Uh-huh.
I think that's Jonathan.
Houston Christian from the Southland.
Okay, but it looks so much like Jonathan, but the colors are wrong.
No, it's Houston Christian. It's this. They beat my University of New Orleans in the Southland series to get the auto bid, which it's a bummer, but well.
Oh, the Anteaters are in there.
Yes,
Hell
yeah.
Yeah, the LA regional has some excellent vibes.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about the Conway regional? Conway regional, you have Coastal, you have the Fairfield Stags, you have Florida, and you have East Carolina.
I would like this more if ECU's jerseys were better.
Okay.
And I hate to say this, but like, why does your jersey just say East Carolina in Times New Roman?
Normally it says Pirates. Did they change it?
The one that appears in this graphic is not great. I will say.
Maybe they thought it was bad luck to be a baseball team and be called the Pirates.
Why would you ever think that, Arthur?
That's a very good point.
The Jersey equivalent of the Witness Protection Program.
That is true. That is very good point.
Listen, I played Little League for a bit in Pittsburgh, and they just I don't know, they had some licensing or something where they just used MLB team names for the teams.
Yeah.
They had to have their stop being a Pirates team because no one wanted to play for the Pirates because you would get made fun of.
That's so beautiful.
This was in Pittsburgh.
So Arizona is kind of the odd man out in the Eugene regional.
Everybody else is green. Commish, this should be your favorite regional.
I do like that regional. The Oregon Eugene regional, you have the Oregon Ducks. It says the Wolverines. I don't know who they are. I can't tell.
Call that the Wolvergreens.
The Wolvergreens. That's right. Let me see here. Eugene regional baseball.
In the meantime, so it's Arizona and then Cal Poly Mustangs.
Yes. Why
I did not realize that green was their color.
Tallahassee, Chapel Hill, Eugene, Utah Valley.
Oh,
it's the Wolverines.
Utah Valley. Interesting. Yeah, all the green it just seems like Arizona's the odd person out there. It's strange. There's some fun stuff here. I do like the Tallahassee regional, which is kind of interesting. You have Florida State, you have Bethune-Cookman, kind of almost like mirror uniforms there. You have Northeastern, the 2 seed from the Boston area, playing Mississippi State in Tallahassee. That's like on this regional here too. West Virginia is actually a 2 seed. Kentucky's the 3 seed in the Clemson regional. Those are just flip-flop.
Sending Northeastern to Tallahassee to hang out with Mississippi State and Florida State and Bethune-Cookman's very funny. That's just like Boston guys showing up like, hi guys. Hi.
It's very weird to have them there. I just don't. It doesn't really make sense.
I don't know that there's anywhere to send Northeastern. That's not weird.
Yes,
it's not. It's just like, well, all the regionals are in the South, as we talked about, that are way out west. So, I mean, where are you going to send them?
Yeah, Chapel Hill may be slightly less weird. Like Holy Cross got sent to Chapel Hill, and I feel much less weird about that.
Yeah, that's true. I do like that they made Columbia, the Lions of the Ivy League, go to Hattiesburg.
They're kicking it in Hattiesburg
Kicking
too.
it. I love that there's Rhode Island in Baton Rouge. That's great. That'll
be culture shock.
That'll be interesting there. I do like, there's really nothing too crazy, and also they're making Miami and Alabama go to Hattiesburg, which is like, okay, this is just going to be kind of interesting. I mean, really, Binghamton, like from upstate New York, is in Athens. So yeah,
Sure.
the
Bearcats.
Binghamton Bearcats, yeah, do it. It's great. So we'll watch that stuff coming up this weekend. It's a lot of fun. I kind of want to skip the thing about all the teams that have the bowls, volleyball, whatever. That thing, no big deal. I want Beth to read this list for me here.
Oh God!
It is the names of. This is from Roger Sherman on Blue Sky. These are the names of the 2025 Women's College World Series. I want you to read all of these names that Roger listed. There's another one at the end that we have to do. We have to add because Roger had an omission.
Okay.
But I'll get you to that one at the end. So I want you to do your best on these names, Beth.
Addison, Brenly, Brazy, Cameron, Cheney, Sydney, Grayson, Jaden, Caden, Katie, Cassidy, Carlin, Kaylin, Keegan, Kedra, Kenley, Kinsey, Corby, Kirsten, Lair, Peyton, Percy, Ramsey, Remington, Regan, Reagan, Shylien, Stephanie, Tegan.
There's one more.
Listener, Stephanie is spelled with 2 I's.
Stephanie.
You can't break me. This is seriously like one of my kindergarten class lists that I'm reading off right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Beth, there are several of these that I didn't.
I've seen
I
these
couldn't
before.
figure out what they were supposed to be, and then you read it, and I was like, "Oh, that's what they were going for."
There's a few of these that, like, I'm serious. I've put out
I
report
wonder
cards for this.
if Shylien is supposed to be something like Shalene.
That's possible. Or Shaylin. That's also possible.
Yeah.
I'm so there's the one more in there I just threw in the chat. It says that Roger made a mistake in his list. He became confused by the fact that Texas had both a KD and a Caden. He erased one thinking he made a mistake, leaving off KD of the final cut. He apologizes for the error. Also, I think my favorite tweet was this, or skeet was this, the Mormon lady picking her name, but she had a baseball helmet on.
Yep, this is her final form. This is her opportunity. This is all of her children. Listener, the number of Y's in this list is so damn high.
I mean, this KD would not be the first KD to play for Texas. So
that is true.
I've been
16 was.
If
we include KD,
15. Stressing for I guess what we now think to be Stephanie. I had been stressing it like Gwen Stefani.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
I have a kid who's got a name very similar to that, and hers is they put an accent on the on that middle syllable. So for this would be Stephanie.
Okay, so I was thrown off by the name Lair.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna throw in Lair's full name.
I do want to note, while Commish puts that in the chat, that the original skeet from Roger Sherman notes at the very end that there are 4 Rileys.
Yes.
Ryllee.
I have encountered between Riley, Rayleigh, and Raylan. I would bet this year in my work, I have encountered 10 different spellings.
Yeah, I believe that.
I feel like these names are also kind of like a lot of these names are not names that I would necessarily be able to say that they're gendered one way or the other. Not because they're like names that have strong histories with both sides, but just that it's like, yeah, man, I don't know.
Jaden is maybe the most perfect name for that, just in my own experience. That name is about a 50-50 split. In all spellings. It doesn't matter if you put a Y in it or not.
Jaden is one that jumps out at me as like normally a boy's name out of these. Some of these are like it's the spelling that sort of gives it away. That these, besides the fact that this is a softball team,
I think like
Cameron with a Y,
example,
right?
Yeah.
Sydney with 2 Ys.
I mean, Caden with a Y.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the name is Lair Butte.
That's fantastic.
She plays for Ole Miss. She's awesome.
Or is it Bote?
Bote. I don't know.
Oh, it might be if she plays for Ole Miss.
She's from Riverside, California, so I don't know.
That raises more questions than answers, honestly.
Bote? Lair Bote? Or is it Butte? I don't know. I'm going to have to watch to figure this out.
My favorite spelling on here is Peyton, which is Paytn.
See,
it's just a celebration of what consonants can do.
The thing about all of this that I think about every time I see the Mormon woman meme with the chalkboard and all of this is that obnoxiously Pitt boyfriend's mom is a teacher and she works with young kids. And spellings like this can meaningfully hinder their ability to learn to read.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like...
Because they don't understand what the letters are supposed to do.
When I said Regan, like, that was not a mistake. They had R-E-G-A-N, then R-A-E-G-A-N, then R-E-A-G-A-N.
Have any of you seen the YouTube series Rob Words?
No.
It's a fantastic series. Gives a perfect explanation of why our letters are the way they are. First off, obviously the Romans superimposed them on the English, and then as we started to adopt the printing press, was right in the middle of the Great Vowel Shift. So,
and we've been paying for it ever since.
The Great Vowel Shift.
I'm just a little sad we have multiple Reagan spellings and not one Raygun.
Not Raygun, no.
You're going to have to wait another 16 or 17 years.
Oh, God. Where's the internet database of people named this? Because there has to be at least one person in the United States who is legally named Raygun.
I mean, that wasn't her legal name.
That
was her. What?
I don't think it matters.
Name?
She was Dr. Raygun, all right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
She had a PhD.
I mean, I saw someone the other day whose given first name is Stingray, so.
Stingray Rob.
Yeah, he crashed.
Okay, Beth, what is this?
Global incidence of people named Raygun, Raygun, first name. Forebears.io says there are 15 people in the world who have that as a first name.
Perfect.
They're out there.
I mean, I don't know. I just think if any of our listeners out there are currently in the process of choosing a baby name, I just want to submit Raygun. Name your baby Raygun for us.
Pronounced Ragin.
Ragin Raygun? Is the
destined to go to ULL?
Yes.
Moving on to other difficult to pronounce things.
Hey,
that's a good job.
Perfect. So I had something at the end of the podcast notes here. This is a very a long thing here, but we've done something over the off season where it's the Conductor series, where I found really long, ridiculously long train trips of teams that played in the 1900s, the early 1900s through about 1940s, where they would take really long train trips to just play a game, which we did in the 1916 Rose Bowl, we did 1938 DePaul, we did a couple of other ones that we explored, and just like people would take so many like train trips, physically tried to catch a bear on one, which they failed, and it's probably why they lost the Rose Bowl, Brown University. But it's very fascinating to me, like when they were trying to travel. And then something hit me yesterday. I was like, well, like who was playing Hawaii? Like who's out there playing Hawaii? Because I'm like, I know Hawaii's been playing football since 1909. But I'm like, how would you go play Hawaii in the 1920s? Like how would you go do that? Like how would you go take the Hawaii test in the 1920s? And I came across the very first Hawaii test.
So what I'm hearing here is that this is a very special edition.
Yes.
Of this, and we are now switching to boat good, car bad.
This is a combination of a train trip and a boat trip.
Multimodal transportation!
That's right. So the very first Hawaii tests, Hawaii never played a team that was not based on the islands of Hawaii for their first 10 years of existence. So from 1909 through 1919, they did not play anybody besides just like, military bases. There was local high schools. There was Hawaii alumni, nothing like that. 1920 came calling, and their very first opponent that was from the mainland came to Hawaii to play Hawaii. And that opponent was the University of Nevada, which I don't say right. Did I say that right, Arthur?
Nevada.
So again,
Nevada.
No,
thank you for saying the thing.
So
someone has to.
1920 came about here, and so the Nevada and Hawaii rivalry began in Honolulu. On what day would you think the first ever Hawaii intercollegiate game would be played on?
I'm gonna guess Christmas Eve.
Close. Christmas Day in 1920.
Wow.
So the Hawaii Bowl has been inside us all along.
Yes.
Okay.
There was the Hawaii Bowl was kind of inside of us all along. There was something called the Poi Bowl that took place in like 1935. But there is something that happened. I'm like, hey, the Hawaii Bowl has always been around Christmas, which is crazy that their very first intercollegiate game took place around the same time. Now, the Wolfpack at the time were known as the Sage Hens.
Oh man, bring that back.
And the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors were known as the Fightin' Deans. The Hawaii Fightin' Deans.
Why?
I'm fine with not bringing that one back.
Okay.
But I do want Sage Hens back.
Sage Hens, bring it back. Bring it back, Nevada. So
I want it to be a chicken clearinghouse.
So what happened here is that Nevada was going to play their very last game of the season, and they were going to play one other team on the Hawaiian Islands after they played Hawaii. This is what they had to do just to get to Honolulu to play Hawaii. They took 17 players in 1920 on an 8-day trip to Honolulu that involved the train ride to San Francisco, so Reno to San Francisco on train, then a boat ride to the islands. Nevada left Reno on December 14th, 1920. They did play the two, and they did not return to Reno until January 17th, 1921. So I have a story on this. I have it. It's Joe Santoro, who did a blog on the Wolfpack history against Hawaii and their rivalry, which, again, the very first Hawaii test was this game. It's ridiculous. So he goes, you want a real challenge? Try traveling to Honolulu from northern Nevada in 1920. When the 1920 Wolfpack football team took on the challenge of going to Honolulu, it was nothing short of a grueling test of stamina, courage, endurance, and fortitude. And once they got there, it was a bare-knuckle brawl for an entire 60-minute football game on both offense and defense. And he puts in parentheses, real men didn't come out of the game in 1920. With leather helmets, no face mask, or TV timeouts, with only a bit more padding stuffed in their uniform than offered by the typical church pew. So the head coach, the head coach of Nevada goes, it's mighty good to see land again, beamed Wolfpack head coach Ray Courtright as he stepped off the steamship, the SSS Maui, on December 21st, 1920.
A steamship full of football players.
Yes.
I know it smelled crazy in there.
There's more here, of course, which is this is going to be great here. The landmark trip was accepted in the name of history. The Wolfpack, then called the Sage Hens 100 years ago, were about to be the first mainland college football team to ever play a game in the Hawaiian Islands. Hawaii wasn't even a state at this time. Yeah, wasn't even a state at this time. And at the time this occurred, women in the country only had the right to vote for the last 4 months. Hollywood movies didn't have sound. Reno's population was about 12,000. So hardly anyone had ever seen or heard of an airplane, let alone flew on one. The first Reno airport wasn't even built until 1929. So there's quotes in the newspaper. It says, it will be the greatest football game stage that has ever been played in the Hawaiian Islands. That's what the Honolulu Star said in anticipation of the Christmas Day game, the 1920 battle with the Sage Hens from Nevada. Why Courtright was so happy to see land when he arrived in Hawaii? Well, his Nevada football team began its trip on December 14th, 1920, boarding a train in the early morning hours, heading to San Francisco. Then the 17 players climbed aboard the SSS Maui and did not arrive until December 21st. That 7 days of floating back and forth, up and down, from side to side in the Pacific Ocean, about 2 years after the end of World War I and 9 months after the end of the flu and influenza that ravaged America in 1918.
Oh, yeah, this is kind of the same energy as like getting on a cruise ship in 2021.
Or getting on a cruise ship at any point, really. But
I mean, yeah.
There's a quote from the Reno Evening Gazette. It says, not all men proved immune to seasickness.
Oh, no.
The coach Courtright was included among the victims.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
So they only had 17 people plus the coach. They're just all like throwing up on the SSS Maui. Courtright, who was also the Wolfpack's AD at the time, as well as the only head coach for football, basketball, baseball, and track, was in his second season at Nevada. His Sage Hens went 8-1-1 in 1919, and they were 6-3 heading to Hawaii, coming off 3 losses to West Coast powers, USC, California, and Santa Clara. He says, we didn't travel 2,100 miles to lose, he told the crowd who showed up to greet his mainland team in Hawaii. Hawaii, which had never played another college team, was 5-1 going into the Nevada game, but their victories were against the Navy team based in Honolulu, Luke fielded at Pearl Harbor, some barracks, Palama, and Waikiki. Their only loss was to the 3-0 Outrigger Canoe Club.
Okay, Commish, it's Waikiki.
Waikiki. Sorry, I didn't see. I missed the I of why. Sorry. Apologize for that.
Very famous speech. Sorry.
So
I'm stuck on Outrigger Canoe Club.
Yes.
I would like to know more about the Outrigger Canoe Club football
team. The Outrigger
team.
Canoe Club plays Nevada after this too.
Hell yeah.
They did. So
tell me that they traveled using Outrigger canoes.
So the SSS Maui, I have a picture of that there. The ship that they came from San Francisco on. That's what it was in 1920, which you can see that.
Sure does look like a boat.
It sure does look like a boat. I did get the Hawaii yearbook, which I have it here. It starts like content page like 94 to 97. The name of the yearbook is the Ka Palapala. I don't know if I said that right. Sorry, Hawaii, if I got that wrong.
I think that's about right.
Okay. So it says the Nevada football games. At last, the dream of years came true for the university athletes. A mainland football team was brought to the islands for a Christmas game with varsity. It was the first intercollegiate contest ever staged in Hawaii, and so it was the university's debut into high society. Hawaii lost the game by 2 touchdowns, but the spectators were satisfied with what they saw, and at last, Hawaii gained recognition at home as a full-fledged university. The success of the enterprise was due largely to the support given it by the businessmen of Honolulu, more especially a committee of them who sponsored the undertaking, and in very particular, Mr. A. L. Castle, who personally arranged the steamer passage for the visitors. So the person was like, "Hey, we're going to send you the SS Maui, and you're going to come play Hawaii." The Carnival Committee donated their bleachers. Everybody approached and looked upon it as a civic enterprise and supported it in a wholehearted way that made failure impossible. On New Year's Day, the Outrigger Canoe Club 11, supported by Atherton Gilman from the Waikiki, I said that right? Waikiki, damn it. All right. Held the Nevadans to a scoreless tie. It was in many respects the better game of the two, although lacking intercollegiate aspect. The Sagebrush team from Reno came to Honolulu and conducted themselves like true sportsmen throughout their stay. They played a fine brand of football, and they played with a fine spirit. Not once was it necessary for the officials to caution a man or either team in regard to roughness or unusual tactics. They left a fine reputation behind them, and they took back to Reno a wholehearted respect for the athletes and students of the University of Hawaii, which
I like the idea of the refs cautioning you for unusual tactics. Like I'm imagining Ron Cherry like throwing the penalty flag and being like, unusual tactics.
I mean, after this last year,
is that the penalty that I feel like unusual tactics is like the penalty flag you throw for Texas fans throwing all the trash on the field?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
Because it worked. It was an unusual tactic.
I'm just imagining a referee like blowing the whistle, being like, "I really think you should run it here." Like, you
gotta
know,
run the ball.
Did you ever like, I don't know, like
Go ahead and run it.
Playing like youth sports every once in a while? I remember like when I was like a child, sometimes the refs would like give us pointers. Like it never any like super detailed coaching, just like, why are you guys like, you guys that's not something you should be doing. And I don't know, I'm just imagining referees trying to do that to college football head coaches.
Hey, Kirk Ferentz, have you considered not punting?
What do you think he would say if the ref told him that?
So there were some articles of the game. You know, Kirk Ferentz said the Reno team showed superior work in forward passing. Nevada's superiority in the trick of forward passing enabled them to keep the pigskin in Hawaii territory for the greater part of the game. The forward passing of the Nevada players was accurate and the ball cleverly handled. It was a lot of fun there. The thing that the yearbook noted that Hawaii fumbled on their first possession and they got behind right away. Behind the 8 ball there. This was an incredible experience. I actually emailed somebody for Hawaii to see if there was any more information, but apparently they were on vacation. So I was trying to get a little bit more information about it. But this, you see like all the players on the Hawaii team, and like they have like a list of their weights, and they're all like 145 pounds, like 140, like not big whatsoever. And of course, it says in the newspaper, it says Nevadans too heavy for locals. Bradshaw performs in style. Fumbles prove mighty costly. Superior teamwork coupled with an excellent generalship and all-around speed scored a victory 14-0 for the University of Nevada over the University of Hawaii 11 in the first intercollegiate contest, the first Hawaii test on Christmas Day. 2 touchdowns, one by Herb Foster in the initial period and one by Flash Reed in the last quarter, plus 2 perfect kicks for goal, totaled the points at 14.
Just to be clear, not only did they travel 2,100 miles to lose, they traveled 2,100 miles to not score a single point. That's what I'm hearing.
No, Nevada won the game 14-0.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, because Nevadans too heavy.
Nevadans too heavy.
Nevadans too big, too strong, too swole.
Yes.
I read that backwards.
Man, we gotta bring back just evaluating football teams based on weight.
We end up talking about this every offseason, and I agree. We should do this.
None of this AP. I mean, we're talking Scott Strickland. Here you go. No more committees. No more nothing. Just
right.
Beef index.
Mm-hmm.
Beef.
Yep, we need to know who has the beefiest lads.
So there was some more things that Joe Santoro wrote for Nevada. It says all the smiling and friendly faces that welcomed Nevada earlier in the week were still smiling and friendly after the game, despite the 2-touchdown loss by the locals. Both teams were cheered, but Nevada got the heaviest applause, the Honolulu newspaper reported. 2 Nevada women, one carrying a Reno pennant, walked by the Hawaii fans and was given an open ovation. One of the women then pulled out a pencil and paper and wrote down some cheers for the Nevada team and handed it to Nevada fans, much to the surprise of Nevada players. Like, here, cheer for Nevada.
Oh, this has the same energy as, and Arthur, you might remember this. Pitt has played in 2 Sun Bowls relatively recently, and it is difficult to get to El Paso from Pittsburgh.
Yes.
As it is difficult to get to El Paso from most places.
Yes, it's hard.
And I vividly remember turning the TV on for one of these Sun Bowls. I don't even remember which one. And there being B-roll of a bunch of people wearing Pitt shirts and like cheering at the camera. And like, that's all great. But the thing is that they were all chanting, "Hail to Pitt, hail to Pitt, hail to Pitt" at the camera. And that's not a thing Pitt fans do. You don't, that's not how Hail to Pitt works. And so I was like, where is this? And I can only conclude that it was locals who had like Googled.
Adopted Pitt, yes.
And adopted us, which is like incredibly heartwarming. It's like that. Or there's like one Pitt fan and they handed out leaflets.
Why did you become a Pitt fan? Loneliness.
Don't attack me like that, Beth.
Sorry.
So Nevada stayed in the homes of the Hawaii students while in Honolulu. And basically Reno had become sort of a glamour destination for the Honolulu fans because of famous Hollywood actress Mary Pickford. So like basically like I'm just imagining 1920 Hawaii. They're like, man, Reno, Nevada's great.
It's where I've always dreamed of.
It's always dreamed to be. And then like Reno was only 12,000 people at the time.
Well, I mean, so keep in mind that the reason that it's famous for Mary Pickford is because of the divorce ranches. She went to Reno and lived there at a divorce ranch. This was a thing. You stayed long enough to establish Nevada residency, and then you could get a no-fault divorce. So people would go and stay at divorce ranches, and so Reno became one of those places where like you go to see famous people because they're going to go stay at the divorce ranch long enough to have their marriage ended, so they don't have to give grounds. And Mary Pickford was one of the first people to do that in the 1920s.
This is fascinating. Today I learned.
Oh, divorce ranches are a crazy rabbit hole. Like fall down that one. That is an entertaining one the whole way down.
Wonderful. I have a new Wikipedia article to read.
Fargo was also the divorce capital of the world for a while too. Because of their liberal divorce laws, people would take the trains up to Fargo.
Yep.
There's across the Red River,
and you'll find places like that where like there's whole industries around it.
It's like inverse Gretna Green. I'm into this.
I'm imagining Divorce Ranch, but it's a condiment.
Gretna Green. Sorry, I had to.
Divorced ranch, but it's a what?
A condiment, like you like ranch dressing. It's like what do you add to it to make it divorce ranch?
90 days.
But okay, all right, 90 days. So the crowd of 4,000 saw the Nevada-Hawaii game, and a quote-unquote 1,000 more kids got in by jumping over the fence.
Hell yeah.
I love this. So like another crowd of 4,000 showed up to see the Outrigger Club battle Nevada to a scoreless tie. Nevada had more yards, 321 to 123, and more first downs, but couldn't get into the end zone. The Sage Hens did not leave Honolulu until January 10th on the SS Lurline, giving the Nevada football team plenty of time to see the sights. So basically they left on the 14th. They got there on the 21st. They played on Christmas Day. Then they played on New Year's Day. And then they didn't leave until January 10th. So like they had like a couple of weeks Hawaii for like a vacation, which was great. So they really enjoyed their time there. It was great. The 1920 Nevada football team would not arrive home until January 17th, 1921, which I mentioned earlier. The trip, 2 long boat rides and 2 train rides to and from the Bay Area, turned out to be 34 full days.
Oh my God.
To play
Like,
2 football games.
A month.
And hang out on the beach.
And hang out on the beach, yes.
So you basically had them. And the thing that got me is when they said that their coach, the Nevada coach, was the coach of all the other sports. Like, what were they doing at the time? Like, what was the coach? Was like he was the coach of basketball, football, baseball. Like,
Telegraph coach. Let's do it.
yeah, I mean, it's just
how do you manage that travel schedule?
We're running our favorite play. Beep 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 beep.
He was the coach of football, basketball, and then also baseball at Nevada. I don't understand. And he was the AD. So he was like everything.
So what you're saying is this is boater sports. Like this is
He
us.
must
We
have
wanted
had
to play football in an aircraft carrier. You could play some of these sports on a boat.
Was he giving him separate paychecks for each sport he coached?
Oh.
I don't know. But yeah, this was kind of incredible. The SSS Maui, but then they took the SS Lurline.
I really think that's Lurline.
The Lurline, because it's a boat line. That's what I want to call it that.
Lurline.
The Lurline. The SS Lurline. Or I just want to call it a Lurline, but because it's a ocean liner. But they took that there and they took that back. The Maui there and the Lurline back, which I wonder if they got used to the motion sickness on the way back, or were they still like?
Probably not.
Probably not. They didn't have Dramamine back then, right?
Maybe they got those like bracelets.
They had those bracelets in the 1920s.
The acupressure bracelets.
Do you think like they asked the Hawaiians like, "Hey man, how do you deal with the boat sickness?"
Dramamine was introduced to the market in 1949.
Okay. So no Dramamine yet.
None whatsoever.
It was not even an apple in Dr. Leslie Gay and Dr. Paul Caroliner's eye.
Not even. I can't imagine just taking like that long. Like they played at Santa Clara on November 25th, and then they didn't play another game until Hawaii, December 25th. So this was kind of like a de facto Hawaii Bowl for the first ever Hawaii test.
Yeah, this is the Hawaii Bowl living in our hearts forever.
It is.
Listen, we used to take academics seriously.
Can you imagine doing correspondence school from this boat?
Like, do you think they had a tutor on the boat? Like, you better study, and then they're just like throwing up over the side of the SS Maui.
We did, in fact, come to play school.
I don't.
I mean, this was over winter
This was
break.
the first semester at sea.
The first semester at sea. Jeez. Like, I've never been on a cruise, but I can't imagine a boat in the 1920s, like going from the Pacific, like San Francisco to, like, if you've never been on a boat trip and you're in like landlocked Reno, Nevada, or this gotta be ridiculous.
It's not the vibe.
That is a long trip. And all you can see is water.
True. Well, that's all I got for this evening. Does anybody have anything else that you want to talk about?
I'm just thinking about Divorce Ranch.
Divorce Ranch? The best new dressing known to man.
So like it takes 90 days, right? But like is that like barrel age or like how are we aging the Divorce Ranch, Beth?
I mean, I'm just trying to wrap my brain around a dressing that you have to file.
At Arizona State University, we're bringing world-class education from our globally acclaimed faculty to you. Ranked #1 in innovation for 10 consecutive years and #2 among public universities for employability. ASU isn't just ahead of the curve, it's creating new paths to success. Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online, that's a degree better. Explore more than 300 undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.